lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video with TWT. So, Sierra Satterfield and her new boyfriend Steven have called it quits already after only a couple of months of dating. And boy has Steven brought us the tea. He's completely exposed Sierra in a number of texts between himself and another Instagram user where he calls Sierra abusive and makes some pretty wild claims about her. So as you guys know, Sierra and her husband Preston have broken up for what we can only pray is the last time now. And then pretty quickly afterwards, Sierra announced she has a new boyfriend named Steven, and Preston announced he had a new girlfriend who nobody actually knows who she is or if she even exists, because you know what, let's face it, who on earth would ever date Preston after all we've learned about him? I think one quick Google search would tell you you're probably better off lighting yourself on fire than ever dating him. But I mean, who are we to judge, right? So basically, Sierra told her Instagram followers that her and Steven were seeing each other when she was first seeing Preston, and she made the terrible mistake of choosing the wrong man. But now they've found each other again, things have moved pretty quickly, and a few minutes later, bang, the kiddos have a new daddy. And I mean, you really have to hand it to the girl, because I can't even find a lawnmower man within a week. And this woman's got her kids a whole new daddy. And yes, she actually had the kids calling him daddy. Apparently, Steven was the new go-between for Sierra and Preston, so he would take the kids from Sierra's to Preston and then pick them up again from Preston's and bring them back home to Sierra. So just for context, because this comes up quite a bit in the text conversations that we're about to read, these two decided to go on a road trip, Sierra and Steven, and they're going to take all of the kids, which they do except for Dexter because he lives with his dad and his stepmom. And they spend the majority of the time sleeping in the car, which of course follows question because at the time in California it was actually quite cold. And there was also photos of the beach where the girls were in their swimsuits, and Sierra and Steven were both wearing big jackets. And of course, if that didn't convince you, there's this video of Sierra driving in California with snow on the side of the road, complaining how cold it is.
Blizzard in fucking California? No, feels like a joke. I've been literally looking forward to getting here for the warm weather, and I'm here and it's like, what's going on? Oh my god.
They do, however, spend some nights at motels, as Sierra does post about this on Instagram. But when they return from their trip, the Instagram love bombing has definitely slowed down, and then suddenly Sierra posts that she is once again single. Then someone reaches out to Steven, and these are the messages that follow. So the Instagram user says, question, did you and Sierra break up because she didn't want to keep paying for everything? I know you got the girls' iPads, but I heard she paid for the entire trip. And if you recall, Sierra actually posted a picture of these iPads and was like, Daddy bought the girls new iPads. He responds to her and says, she's a liar. We didn't break up because of that. We broke up because she wants to insult me, cuss me out, disrespect me, insult my manhood. She treats me like she owns me. She abuses me verbally. And when I try to get away and find peace and quiet to avoid argument in front of 4 minors, she chases me around screaming at me, cussing me out, calling me every name in the book, saying I'm no real man, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't clean, she doesn't pick up after herself, her kids don't pick up after themselves. They leave cartons sitting out without a lid, bottles of Gatorade, bottles of water, food they take off dirty clothes, and just scatter them all over their house instead of putting them in a dirty laundry. Like it's a fucking house full of a bunch of lazy-ass slobs. That's why we broke up, because I deserve a woman who treats me like the king I am and doesn't treat me like a pile of trash every single day. And she expects me to pick up after her children. She expected me to keep the whole house spotless. She expects me to go buy a lawnmower to mow her yard. She expects me to pay her mortgage. She expects me to fix her sink because she has a major rat infestation inside the house. And they have chewed through the PVC pipes in the sink. And she expects me to either fix it myself or pay for it to be fixed. But I'm not a plumber or anything, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So she says, you're not a real man, and it's no wonder your ex-wife took your son and disappeared with him. Like, how horrible of a person Sierra is. Plus, she keeps texting other dudes like this John guy Preston claims she hooked up with right before she and I got together. She's asking John for money, which is absolutely pathetic and the exact opposite of what loyalty is. She's also wanting to start an OnlyFans because she says, I need money right now. I don't care. I'll slut myself out. My kids won't see it. Now she has a whole bunch of sex toys scattered around her house that her kids keep finding and playing with. She also has been texting another guy trying to get him to help her with her OnlyFans. Like, what the fuck? So hell no, I had to get the fuck out of there. I've tried to leave 3 times before and she stole my keys to my truck and wouldn't let me leave and trapped me in her house 3 different times and would scream and threaten to call the cops on me for abuse if I tried to take my keys from her. So no, I paid for the whole trip. All she paid for was gas during the trip and used her food stamps to buy candy and junk food for her kids every day. Other than that, I paid for all the hotels, I paid for the car rental, the fast food she and her kids wanted. I bought her kids a $300 cart to put the kids in so they didn't have to walk. I bought a $300 camping tent that was completely destroyed and threw inside the trash and never even used it, not once. I bought the kids 2 different blow-up mattresses. I bought them blankets and pillows. I put Sierra on my phone plan because she wouldn't pay her bill with her friend Anna. I bought Sierra a $250 mini fridge that's in her bedroom. I bought 4 car seats because her daughter shit and piss all over them and destroyed them. I've had to gather up huge trash bags full of her clothes and her kids' clothes because she will not clean or pick up dirty clothes. And I took them to the laundry mat 4 different times and I alone spent over $300 in laundry each time. I bought them 3 different tablets, 2 iPads, hundreds of dollars worth of diapers, hundreds of dollars worth of baby wipes. I bought them hundreds of dollars worth of clothes, socks, underwear. I bought them all a pair of hiking shoes, including Sierra. Besides, Lucian, his dad got him shoes a while back that he wore. I gave Zara a brand new Xbox Series S with a brand new headset. I also cleaned up, picked up her entire house by myself and took all of her trash. I cleaned up to the landfill in Parksburg and had over 500 pounds of trash and waste. That's I also paid for. She said she was going to pay me back for all of that, but of course she never did. She's an absolute narcissistic, compulsive, lying, conniving and manipulative person. Her kids are the most irresponsible kids I've ever met and they argue and talk back to their mum and yell at her. They literally say they hate her. Dexon told her he hates her. Lucy told her he hates her. Both boys continuously say they want to live with their dads. Zyla even said himself he doesn't blame Dexon for not wanting to be there with his mum. She wants to cry about abuse online, but if only people saw the physical abuse she puts on her 2 autistic daughters, grabbing them by the hair and ripping them around and beating them and hitting them repeatedly in the face. Now, this part's a little bit crazy because let's remember, not that long ago, Sierra did this video.
Spank my autistic children. Are you for real? Hi, Scene TV. My name is Sierra and this is my story. I'm a single mom to autistic twins and they are 4 years old. The thing that upsets me the most about people, they say things like, that child's not autistic, he's just a brat. Everybody acts like they have autism these days. Beat them, hit them. I cannot spank the autism out of my child like I can't slap the ignorance out of you. They're not meltdowns, they're overstimulated, it's their brain, they cannot help it. I would never beat my child because of that. So I have 5 kids, my oldest is 11, my second son is 9, and my third son is 6, and then I have my autistic twin daughters. Their autism took me by a really, really big surprise. I had my twins 4 years ago, and they did great, and then the 6-month mark started to hit, and they didn't set up or roll over or anything. At 6 months, I knew something was off, and then by 2 years old, they were both diagnosed with autism. They're nonverbal as well. They can't communicate, as in if you say, did you have a bad day at school? They don't understand what that means, but they say things like, drink. They can't have a conversation with you at 4.5 years old. They still take a bottle. They still use a diaper. I don't get any family support with them ever, so I'm around the clock with them 24/7. They will wake up in their sleep and they will want something and they will not know how to communicate with me, and they get so upset. It's very violent and it lasts for over an hour. One time, there was an incident. My daughter kept eloping out the door, and I've had to help call the cops. I was actually in the laundry room. I was 5 seconds doing something and she got out the door. She broke the lock off of the door. She was up at the neighbors, went into their house and started eating off their dinner plate. And she can't say my name. So they walked her down here. I had to lock down all the windows because she was getting out all the windows. As a single mom, the hardest thing dealing with this, you feel so alone. And I don't care what anybody says, everybody needs a break. I don't get a break ever. My typical day is different with them. It goes on their mood. Some days they're having meltdowns, other days they're amazing. They go to a disability school. I pray before they come home because transitioning from the car to the house, they can be in like a fit and a meltdown for the rest of the day. And then some days they come in extremely happy. But transitioning any little bit is very, very, very hard for them. So when we are out in public and the girls start throwing a fit, I am the mother that says, I am sorry, but I let them know that they are on the spectrum. One thing that I love to remind myself on my hardest days is that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and they bring me so much joy. They bring me more joy than anything in this entire world. They're beautiful, they're elegant, they're just so precious and pure. They're so funny and they're loving. So my little baby girl wakes up and says, "Hi, Mommy." That's all she said. They haven't said I love you yet, and I cannot wait to hear them say I love you.
I am seen. Are you? Add for more stories.
So then he goes on to say, Sarah will say I abused her kids because she told me to get Keziah because they were going absolutely crazy, screaming bloody murder and crying, and she told me to beat her, which was like 2 weeks ago. Well, I didn't beat her, but I picked her up to carry her back into the bedroom and put her back on the bed. It was the middle of the night and everyone was asleep, and Keziah freaks out like crazy when someone picks her up and she starts having a fit. I don't know why, but she literally hits herself in the face and she bashed her face against my shoulder. When I picked her up, and it busted her lip open. Sierra never said anything to me about it ever, but when Sierra and I start fighting again on Saturday, she goes nuts, saying I abuse her kids and beat her up and all this nonsense like nothing she says is true. She's not loyal either. Also bought them kids 2 brand new TVs, but I returned one of them and got my money back for it. She also left her front door wide open, and my German Shepherd dog got out and was missing for 3 days, and I just found her. Now, of course, if you follow her on Instagram, this is not going to come as any surprise to you because I can't even recall how many times Sarah has gone on her Instagram or her Facebook and said that her little girls have eloped again and they had to call the police to go and find them. So the Instagram user says, so did she have to kind of show you how to handle her children, or she just let you kind of parent them how you wanted? Since she says that autism is so severe, she's been caught in the lies already about when they start to notice each other, how much they can speak and do on their own, etc. And he says, yeah, she just threw me to the wolves and expected me to know exactly what I'm doing. I've never raised a kid before. And now that's weird because he actually talks about his son and his 3-year-old. So, I mean, surely you've got a bit of time with your child. But I don't know what his circumstances are, but someone brought that up to me this morning. I thought, that's weird. Anyway, he says he's never raised a kid before, but I'm damn sure know how not to raise a kid based off my personal experience with my parents and how Preston and she is. I just try to be patient, understanding, loving and care for them. Of course, I'd scold them and yell at them for things like not flushing the toilet after shitting in it, like leaving open bottles of water and Gatorade and milk cartons and leaving laundry thrown everywhere. I don't know, they act just like any other kid at 4 years old. I think she just uses autism as an excuse for lack of parenting. They're not diagnosed on paper with autism, lol. She just says that they are. She says they are non-verbal autistic, yet they literally talk all day, every day, saying fluent words. They know how to speak. I don't think they're autistic. They are just spoilt rotten brats who get no parenting, so when they don't get what they want, they scream and cry just like any other kid would. Just like Lucian does. Just like Dexon does. They're not autistic though, but she says the girls are, lol. I don't think they are at all. It's just failed parenting. So then the Instagram user says, and I just meant she wants to live in a camper and travel, which is cool. But how can you do that and also be trying to freeload off of people, getting them to pay for your phone bill and paying for this and that, etc.? Do you think she was taking Vivance and shit with Preston too? And then he says, I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, the freeloading part, yeah, that's for sure her. And then wants to downplay it. I'm not talking to this guy, I just asked for money. And he says, okay, whore. She don't take Vivance, she takes Prozac, and she takes Adderall, a lot of it. So I've got to chat about this one because this is something that has been talked about for such a long time. And it's really hard on exposing pages because if you've ever been a part of this exposing page, there's 3 types of people. So like in Sierra's case, for example, there are the people that just don't care. They're there for the gossip. They're impartial. They don't care either way. Then you've got the people that don't like Sierra, but they're fair. They'll say what they think, make judgment of what they think, but they'll give her credit when credit's due. And then you've got the people that cannot stand her, and sometimes they'll pull things out of left field. And at first, this kind of felt like that, but then as we watched her and things progressed, it seemed more and more likely that she was abusing some kind of medication. So this is actually quite a little interesting one because, I mean, this was a big thing on Instagram. Big drama blow up over it. So basically Sierra had posted her dog and was like, it got out. I wonder how that happened, Sierra. I wonder if you just left the door open. But it got out like most things in Sierra's house does, and it crossed the road and a lady hit the dog. And apparently, according to Sierra, it was a hit and run. Sierra actually came out later and said, oh, I think she swerved to hit my dog. Someone across the road seen it, so I don't know. But anyway, the dog was apparently so injured, but she didn't ring a vet. And everyone was calling her out saying, why didn't you ring a vet? And she said, oh, well, because it's after hours and the vet wasn't closed. I think she said it was like an hour drive away, but someone looked it up and it was like 20-minute drive. Anyway, she said the dog was really bad. And then for like 2 weeks after that, she posted about the dog, how it was going to be in a wheelchair, and she bought this for the dog and she's going to look after it for the rest of its life and support it. And then the Instagram user said, so her dog doesn't need a wheelchair? Isn't it disabled after being hit by the car? And he's like, guess not, lol. She moves just fine. So the dog is fine. What the hell? No update on that one because obviously it's not going to bring attention. Anyway, continues on and says, Sierra's a huge drama queen. Get a little red bump on a kid's arm and it's, oh my God, we have to go to the ER. My kids have scabies. They're going to die. Literally, then had to spend the rest of my day at the fucking ER just to tell them it's absolutely nothing. It's normal fucking skin. Blood works and all kinds of other labs done for no reason. Laugh my fucking ass off. Now we have a very valid point from Instagram user here, but they say, at any point, did you feel like you should have probably called CPS? Like, if this was someone else, would you maybe have called or put in a complaint? Also, were you with her when the girls burnt their hair or no? And he replies with, yeah, I thought about it several times actually, but I didn't call them because they were worthless too. I have a CPS case against my ex-wife who disappeared with my 2-year-old son over a year ago, and the courts just found her and served her with contempt papers, and CPS did nothing to help me. Plus, CPS came to Sierra's house a couple of weeks ago, and coincidentally, the CPS worker and Sierra are friends, so she didn't even do a real CPS welfare check. He then says, she just went in, sat down, and talked to Sierra for an hour, lol. Literally. So no, I didn't call them because they're worthless. Yeah, I was there. She says they burnt their hair, but it doesn't look any different than any other time. And haven't heard of them burning their hair in over a month now, and their hair is still just as nappy and messy as before. She kept telling her kids I was their dad too, and I didn't really appreciate that. So Instagram user says, oh hell no. So anytime CPS was called, nothing really happened because they aren't worth a damn there. Can you tell me about her pulling the kids from school? Did you all talk about that together? He says, no, there was no conversation about it. I was scheduled to go to Cali for boxing training camp and she refused to let me go alone, so she chose on her own to pull them all out of school. Nobody even knew. She didn't call the schools to tell them until we were already on the road and they were missing for days. Yep, the only time she does anything to their hair is if they go to school or they go to their dad's. Otherwise, they look homeless. And the Instagram user says, wow, she didn't even bother contacting their teachers to get their homework assignments. Then he replies, no, she don't care. She never even made them do their homework either. I tried to help Zyla with his homework and literally was doing all the work for him, giving him the answers, and he still didn't want to do it because he wanted to play video games instead. And Sarah says he didn't have to do it, so he didn't want to. He says, I'm 6 foot, because the Instagram user asked how tall she is. And of course, that's because Sierra always makes out she's like super tall. I don't know why, but it's weird. Anyway, Instagram user says, did she ask you for any help to fix up the house before it's condemned, besides the rat pipe stuff? So then Stephen says, just to replace the fridge, the whole stove, the sink and pipes, the dishwasher, washer and dryer and lawnmower. She don't cook. I cooked everything they ate. She has an air fryer thing she uses though. Yes, I paid for everybody to eat every single time and we cooked maybe 3 times total. And then Instagram user says, what happened to the camper? He says, oh shit, yeah. I was getting ready to go buy a brand new camper for her ass too because she kept saying she wants to leave the house and live in a camper. But then he goes on to basically expose the living conditions. So he's like, she don't do dishes. You should see the inside of the house. The state just came to change the locks and mow the yard, saying they were labelling the house as abandoned. The dishes are piled up in the sink. There isn't a single clean thing to cook with, eat with or anything. But the rats chew through the pipes in the sink and it leaks everywhere. And they chew through the wires in the dishwasher and it don't work. And the fridge is destroyed too and doesn't work right either. She don't even have a working oven to bake food. So she buys nothing but candy and chips and donuts and just a bunch of unhealthy shit, and that's her kids' are always sick and lazy. That's meant to say, and that's why her kids. Cat piss everywhere, yes, and she doesn't even mop it. It will sit there for months before she even looks at it. He says, Zyla's room is covered in dog shit that I cleaned up. His mattress was stained top to bottom with cat and dog piss and shit, and I brought a $175 shampoo and cleaned his whole room and mattress. All she did was picking up the shit only because she seen me cleaning it. He said, yeah, he's better off. She didn't vlog it the whole time. She wanted people to continue believing she's living in abuse and poverty and shit, and was looking for sympathy by lying. So that was a lot for us to unpack, but this isn't the first time that we've heard these allegations. So obviously Preston has made these same allegations, and if you've followed any of the exposing pages, these same questions have come up over the years. Like, do the kids really have autism? Like the girls, do they really have autism? You know, Lucien kind of acts the same way. They've got a lot of pets in the house. Like, how is the house staying clean? How are the kids getting out of the house all the time? You know, they're always at the hospital. Like, do they really need ER care all the time? Like, there's always been the same question. So, I mean, he's confirmed a lot of things for people, but then at the same time, like, you know, Stephen's willing to share this with a stranger online, you know, so that's also a strange move. Like, is he a scorned man? Like, who knows? Like, we don't really know. Maybe he's just intimidated that she does have so many followers and he kind of just wants to get his story out first. I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of it. What do you think? Like, do you think that this is the truth, or do you think the truth lies somewhere between what Sierra is probably going to come out and what Stephen says? I don't know. Like, it's I don't know. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think.